And now, the miracle worker.
She'll live.
Thank God.
You're a pair of lucky parents. I can tell you now, I thought she wouldn't.
Nonsense. The child's a killer. She'll outlive us all.
Yes, and especially if you Kellers don't get a night's sleep. I mean you, Mrs. Keller.
I've raised 2 of them, but this is my wife's first. She's in battle scarred yet.
Doctor, don't be merely considerate. Will my girl be all right?
Oh, by morning she'll be knocking down Captain Keller's fences again.
Is there anything we should do?
Put up stronger fencing, huh?
Just let her get better on her own. She knows how to do it better than we do. These things come and go in infants. Never know why. They call it acute congestion of the stomach and brain.
I'll see to your buggy, Doctor.
I've never seen a baby more vitality. That's the truth. Captain Keller, you are one lucky man. You have a very sick daughter. I didn't think she'd make it.
Oh, nonsense. Our Helen could get through anything.
Hush, don't you cry now. You've been trouble enough. We'll have your father run an editorial in the paper. The wonders of modern medicine. They don't even know what they're curing when they cure it. Men in their battle scars. Well, we women will have to. Helen? Helen! Captain! Captain, will you come? Captain! Captain!
Katie!
Captain!
Katie, what's wrong?
Look!
What? She's well. She needs only time to heal.
She can't see! Look at her eyes! She can't see!
Helen?
Or here! When I scream, she didn't blink. Not an eyelash!
Helen!
She can't hear you!
Helen!
First, I'm going to cut off this doctor's legs. 1,
Why
2.
cut off that doctor's legs?
I'm going to give him an operation. See, now I'm going to cut off his arms. 1, 2. Now I'm going to... You stop that.
Cut off his stomach. Now that's a good operation.
No, I'm going to cut off his head first. He got a bad cold.
Ain't gonna be much left of that doctor to fix up after all an offer.
What'd you do, bite her hand?
She keep poking her fingers in my mouth and I just bite him off.
What'd she try to do now?
She tried to talk. She gonna get mad. Look at her trying to talk.
Hey, you stop that. You just sit quiet. Mrs. Keller, come quick!
Helen!
She only dug Martha's eyes out. Almost stuck. It's always almost around here. No point where until it happens.
How does she stand it? Arthur, something ought to be done for that child.
A refreshing suggestion. What?
Wow, this very famous oculist in Baltimore I wrote you about. What was his name?
Dr. Chisholm.
Oh, yes. There have been cases of blindness people thought couldn't be cured. He's cured. He just does wonders. Why don't you write to him?
I've stopped believing in wonders.
I think the captain will write to him soon, won't you, Captain?
No. The child's been to specialists all over Alabama and Tennessee. If I thought it would do any good, I'd have it every fool doctor in this country.
I think the captain will write him soon.
Katie, how many times can you let them break your heart?
Any number of times, as long as there's the least chance for her to see or hear.
There isn't. Now, I must finish here.
I think, with your permission, Captain, I'd like to write.
I said no, Katie.
Why, Arthur, writing does no harm. Just a little bitty letter to see if you could help her.
He can't.
We won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you write.
Katie, he can't.
Father stands up. That makes it a fact.
Then you be quiet. I'm badgered enough around here by females at your impudence.
Oh!
Katie, I might as well try and work in a hen yard.
You know, you really ought to put her away, Father.
What?
Some asylum. It's the kindest thing.
Why, James, she's your sister, not a nobody.
Half sister, half mentally defective. She can't even keep herself clean. It's not pleasant seeing her about all the time.
You dare complain about what you can see?
This discussion is at an end. I'll thank you not to broach it again, Ev. I've done as best as I can. I can't give my whole life to it. And I'm as sensitive to this affliction as anyone else. It hurts me to look at the girl.
It was not our affliction I meant you to write about, Captain.
Helen, my buttons.
Eyes She wants the doll to have eyes.
Oh, goodness me, I'm not decent.
She doesn't know any better, Aunt Ev. I'll sew them back on again.
She'll never learn with everyone giving her whatever she takes into her mind.
Jimmy, be quiet. Deprived child, the least you can have for the little things she wants.
It's worth a couple of buttons, Kate. Look, that child has more sense than all these men killers. If only we can get to that mind of hers.
Helen!
Helen, you're not to do such things. How can I make you understand? How can I get
Katie?
into your head, my doll and my port?
Katie, some way of teaching her a note of discipline must be found.
How can you discipline an afflicted child? Is it her fault?
I didn't say it was her fault, but there must be a way of confining her so she can't.
Where? In a cage? She's a growing child. She has to use her limbs.
Tell me one thing, is it fair to Mildred there?
Are you willing to put her away? Oh!
Now what?
She wants to talk like, be like you and me. Every day she slips further away. And I don't know how to call her back.
Oh, I have a mind to bring her up to Baltimore myself. If that doctor can't help her, maybe he'll know who can.
I'm right the man, Katie.
For the child, of course. It was actually Dr. Bell who thought she'd be taught at all. I've written to the family that only the most suitable governess, Miss Annie Sullivan, has been found right here in Boston and will come. It will no doubt be difficult for you there, Annie, but has it not been difficult for you here at our school too? Gratifying, yes, but coming here, unable to even spell your own name, to accomplish so much in so few years. Always an Irish battle for independence. This is my last time to counsel you, Annie, and while you do lack, what tact or talent, how do I phrase, to bend to others. And what has saved you on more than one occasion here at Perkins is the mere fact there was nowhere to expel you to. Your eyes hurt?
My ears, Mr. Anagnos.
Nowhere but back to Tewksbury with you where girls learn to be saucy.
Yes. Well, I know what I'm like. What's this child like?
Like?
Well, bright or dull to start off.
Blind, deaf, mute. She's like a little box, locked. No one can open it. There could be a treasure inside.
Maybe it's empty too.
Possibly. I should warn you, she is much given to tantrums.
Means something's inside. Well, so am I, if I'm to believe all I hear. Maybe you should warn them.
Annie, I've told them nothing of your history. You'll be among strangers now.
Well, we'll keep them in a blessed state of ignorance then.
Perhaps you should tell them,
Why? I have enough trouble with people who don't know.
so they'll understand when you have trouble.
The only time I have trouble is when I'm right. Is it my fault it's so often? No, I won't give them any trouble, Mr. Anagnos. I'll be so ladylike they won't even notice I've come.
Annie, be humble. It's not as if you have so many offers to pick and choose from. You'll need the family's affections working with this child. And so, you are no longer our student. We send you off into the world, a teacher. Of course, if the child can't be taught, no one expects you to work miracles, even for $25 a month. In this envelope, a loan for the train, but in this box, a gift with our love. I think we have some friends I would like to say goodbye now.
Mr. Anagnos. Dear Mr. Anagnos, Well, what am I to say? I'm an ignorant, opinionated girl, and everything I am I owe to you.
That's only half true.
Which half? I crawled in here like a drowned rat. I thought I died when Jimmy died. That I'd never again come alive. Well, you say with love so easy. And I haven't loved a soul since, and never will, I suppose, but this place gave me more than just my eyes back, or taught me how to spell, which I'll never learn anyway. But with all the fights and the trouble I've been here, it taught me what help is, and how to live again. And I don't want to say goodbye. Don't open the door, I'm crying.
They won't see.
Annie?
Here, Beatrice.
There's a going away present. We bought you a present, Annie.
Now you shouldn't have.
We did. Where's the present?
Don't go, Annie, away.
Alice has it. Alice, where's Alice?
Here I am.
Where?
Here.
I have it. Should I open it?
Yeah, open it.
Everybody be quiet. She's opening it.
Did you open it, Annie?
It's open.
It's for your eyes, Annie. Put them on, Annie, because Mrs. Hopkins said your eyes hurt since the operation, and she says you're going where the sun is fierce.
I'm putting them on now.
Don't go, Annie, where the sun is fierce.
Do they fit all right?
Oh, they fit just fine.
Did you put them on? Are they pretty, Annie?
Oh, my eyes feel hundreds of percent better already. And pretty, why? Do you know how I look in them? Splendiloquent, like a racehorse.
There's another present. Beatrice, we have a present for Helen, too. Give it to her, Beatrice.
Here, Annie. It's for Helen. We took up a collection to buy it, and Laura dressed it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And be sure to give it to Helen from us, Annie.
I promise it will be the first thing I give to her. If I don't steal it for myself, that is. You know I can't be trusted with dolls.
Don't go, Annie, to her.
Sarah, dear, I don't want to go.
Then why are you going?
Because I'm a big girl now. And big girls have to earn a living. It's the only way I can. But if you don't smile for me first, what I'll just have to do is
What?
put you in my suitcase instead of this doll and take you to Helen in Alabama.
Come, children. We have to get the trunk in the garage and Annie on our train, or else no one will be going to Alabama.
Bye, Annie.
Bye, Annie. We're going to miss you, right, Toss, Annie?
All right.
Us, Annie.
Annie!
It's all right, Jimmy. I'm here.
Annie, I'm scared. Where are we going?
Don't worry, Jimmy. Wherever we go, we'll always be together. I'll take care of you.
Forever and ever?
Forever and ever.
Annie. Annie.
Coming.
Let Mr. Jimmy go by himself. You've been poking your head around that garden all day. You need to rest your feet.
I can't wait to see her, Vonnie.
Maybe she ain't gonna be on this train either.
Maybe she is.
And maybe she ain't.
And maybe she is. Where's Helen?
She's upstairs, smelling around. She knows something's going on.
Let Helen have her supper as soon as Mildred's in bed. And tell the captain when he comes we'll be a trifle delayed tonight.
Again.
I don't think we need to say again. Simply delayed will do.
I mean, that's what he's gonna say. What? Again?
Yes, we're expecting someone. Someone for my Helen. Oh dear, this was clean not an hour ago. Here! For while I'm gone. I don't think one candy will spoil your appetite.
Jimmy,
Sir?
needn't keep holding up the porch. We got a wooden post for that. I asked you to see those strawberries removed this evening.
I'm escorting your Mrs. Keller to the station later.
Mrs. Keller. Must you always speak of her as though you haven't met the lady?
Mother! Said Mother, didn't I?
Captain,
Evening, my dear.
we're off to meet the train. Supper will be delayed tonight.
What, again?
With your permission, Captain?
What do you want, honey? Your mama? Here. Guess one little tea cake ain't gonna hurt.
She's gone. She's gone. My son and I don't get along. You don't know I'm your father. Nobody likes me and supper's delayed. Here. One little nibble of sweets can't do any harm.
Now, Captain Keller, how am I gonna get her to eat her supper when you fill her up with all that trash?
Oh, you tend to your work. Ow! Ow, you!
Miss Sullivan?
Yes. Oh, at last. I've been on trains so many days, I thought they must be backing up every time I dozed off.
Right. I'm James Keller.
James. I had a brother, Jimmy. Are you Helen's?
No. I'm only a half-brother, and you ought to be her governess?
Well, try.
You'd look like half a governess. Miss Keller, Miss Sullivan.
We've met every train for 2 days.
You have a trunk, Miss Sullivan?
Yes. You didn't bring Helen. I was hoping you would.
No, she's at home.
You live far from town, Mrs. Keller?
Only a mile.
Well, I suppose I can wait 1 more mile, but don't be surprised if I get out to push the horse.
Helen's been waiting for you, too. There's been such a bustle at home. She expects something, heaven knows what. I expected a desiccated spinster. You're very young.
You should have seen me when I left Boston. I got much older on this trip.
To teach anyone as difficult as Helen, I mean.
I mean to try.
Is it possible, even, to teach a deaf-blind child half of what an ordinary child learns?
Half?
A tenth.
Well, no. Dr. Howe did wonders, but an ordinary child? No, never. But then I thought, when I was going over his reports, well, he never treated them like ordinary children. More like eggs everyone was afraid would break.
May I ask how old you are?
Well, I'm not in my teens, you know. I'm 20.
All of 20.
Mrs. Keller, don't lose heart just because I'm not on my last legs. I've got 3 big advantages over Dr. Howe that money couldn't buy for you. The first is his work behind me. Well, I've read everything he wrote about it, and he wasn't exactly what you'd call a man of few words. Another is to be young. Why, I've got energy to do anything. And the third is, well, I've been blind.
Advantages.
Some have the luck of the Irish, some do not.
What will you try and teach her first?
First, last, and in between, language.
Language.
Language is to the mind more than light is to the eye. Dr. Howe said that.
Language. We can't get through to her to teach her to sit still. You are young despite your years to have such confidence. Do you, inside?
No. To tell you the truth, I'm as shaky inside as a baby's rattle.
Don't be. We'll do all we can to help and make you feel at home. Don't think of us as strangers, Miss Annie.
Oh, strangers aren't so strange to me. I've known them all my life.
Captain Keller? Captain Keller, they coming! They sure enough came, Captain.
Welcome to Ivy Green, Miss Sullivan. I take it you are Miss Sullivan?
My husband, Miss Annie, Captain Keller.
Captain, how do you do?
Pleased to meet you at last. I trust you had an agreeable journey?
Oh, I had several.
Allow me to take your suitcase upstairs to your room.
Oh, that's all right, I'll take it.
Not at all, I have it.
I'd like it.
I couldn't think of
Let
it, Miss Sullivan.
me.
You'll find it
I've
south.
got something in it for Helen. Thank you. When can I see her?
There's Helen.
Katie.
Well?
She's very rough, Katie.
I like her, Captain.
Certainly we're a peculiar kind of young woman in the North. How old is she?
Oh, well, she's not in her teens, you know.
She's only a child. What's her family like shipping her off alone this far?
I couldn't learn. She's very closed-mouthed about some things.
And why does she wear those glasses? I like to see a person's eyes
For
when
the
I talk.
sun. She was blind.
Blind.
She's had 9 operations in her eyes, one just before she left.
Blind? What, good heavens, do they expect one blind child to teach another? Does she have experience at least? How long did she teach there?
She was a pupil.
Katie. Katie, this is her first position?
She was valedictorian.
I must say, great improvement. Now we've got 2 of them to look after.
You look after those strawberry plants.
Nothing I say is right, is it?
Why say anything? Don't be long, Captain. We'll have supper right away. All the trouble I went to, and that's how I look. Oh, no, not the drawers. All right, Miss O'Sullivan. Let's begin with doll. D-O-L-L. Doll.
You spell pretty well.
Oh.
You finding out if she's ticklish? She is. What is that, some sort of game?
An alphabet.
Alphabet?
For the deaf. Oh, how bright she is.
You seriously think she understands what you're saying? She mimics everything. She's a monkey.
Yes, she's a bright little monkey, all right.
I think she wants a doll back.
When she spells it.
You wanted to spell it? She doesn't even know the thing has a name.
Of course not. No one expects her to now. All I want is for her fingers to learn the letters.
It won't mean anything to her. Doesn't like that alphabet of yours, Miss Sullivan. Did you invent it yourself?
Spanish monks under a vow of silence, which I wish you'd take. Cake from Washington up north. It's the best I could do. C-A-K-E. Do what my fingers do. Never mind what it means. Oh. Get it down fast. Maybe I'll steal that back too now. D-O-L-L. Think it over. L. Imitate now. Understand later. End of the first lesson. Oh! Oh! Oh, you little wretch! No one's taught you any manners. Helen? 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 Helen, let me out of here! Oh. Oh. Oh, it hurts.
It hurts, Annie. It hurts.
You're going to be all right, Jimmy.
Annie, where are they taking me?
You have to go with the nice doctors now.
Annie!
Shh. It's all right, Jimmy. I'll see you soon. You'll get better and...
Don't let them take me, Annie. You promised forever and ever, Annie. You said forever and...
Supper is ready, Jimmy. Will you call your father?
Certainly. Father, supper.
No need to shout. I've been cooling my heels out here for an hour. Sit down.
Certainly.
Viney?
Yes, Captain, right here.
Mildred went directly to bed, Viney.
Oh, yes, that babe's an angel.
And Helen had a good supper?
I know, ma'am. Somehow she didn't have much of an appetite tonight.
Oh, dear.
Certainly couldn't say the same for myself. I'm famished. Katie, your plate?
But where is Miss Annie?
In her room.
In her room? Doesn't she know that hot food must be eaten hot? Bring her down at once, Jimmy.
Certainly, I'll get a ladder.
What?
I'll need a ladder. It shouldn't take long.
What shouldn't take you
Jimmy, do
long?
as I say. Tell Miss Sullivan.
Thing is, she's locked in her room.
Locked in her.
What
Helen
on
locked
earth
her
are
in
you?
and made off with the key.
And you sit here and say nothing.
Well, everyone's been telling me not to say anything, haven't they?
Vonnie, look out back for Helen. See if she has that key.
She's out by the pump. Miss Sullivan, are you in there?
Oh, I'm in here, all right.
And is there no key on your side?
Well, if there was a key in here, I wouldn't be in here. Helen took it. The only thing on my side is me.
Miss Sullivan, not 10 minutes in the house. I don't see how you managed it. Vonnie?
Yes, Captain.
Put that meat back in the oven.
She has no key.
Nonsense, she must have the key.
Would you prefer to search her yourself, Captain?
No, I would not prefer to search her myself. She nearly took my kneecap off this evening when I tried merely... put that ladder back.
Certainly.
She could have hidden the key.
Where?
Anywhere under a rock, in the flower beds, in the grass.
We can't plow up the entire grounds looking for a missing key. Jimmy.
Sir.
Bring me a ladder.
Certainly.
What is Mildred doing up?
Captain woke her, ma'am. All that hollering.
Miss Sullivan!
Yes, Captain Keller.
Come out.
Well, I don't see how I can. There isn't any room.
I intend to carry you. Simply grab onto my shoulders and hold tight.
Well, that's very chivalrous of you, but I'd really prefer to just...
Miss Sullivan, follow instructions.
Captain, I'm perfectly able to go down a ladder on my own.
I doubt it. Hold on to my neck.
Well, if you just move out of the way, I'd be down in no time.
Move out. I beg your pardon?
I only mean that I'm perfectly adept at...
Very well. Miss Sullivan, have it your way. Just try not to break your neck.
I'm sorry to inconvenience you this way.
No inconvenience, except for having the door taken down and the lock replaced if we fail to find that key.
I look everywhere for it.
Thank you. Do not look in any rooms that can be locked.
Thank you very much.
All right, go on. Go on, get back to your work. What are you looking at here? There's nothing here to look at. Now, would it be possible for us to have supper like other people?
Vonnie, get supper ready. I'll put Mildred back to bed.
I guess we ought to leave the L-A-D-D-E-R.
You devil. You think I'm so easily gotten rid of? You have a thing or two to learn first. I've got nothing else to do. And nowhere else to go. And nobody here has attempted to control her. The greatest problem I have is how to discipline her without breaking her spirit. Ink. It has a name. Down, under, up, and be careful of the needle. These blots are her handiwork. All right, let's try temperance. Bad girl. Good girl. Very good girl.
What are you saying to her?
I'm just making conversation, saying it's a sewing card.
But does that mean that to her?
No, she won't know what spelling is till she knows what a word is.
The captain says it's like spelling to a fence post.
Does he now?
Is it?
No. It's like how I watch you talk to Mildred.
Mildred.
Any baby. Gibberish. Grown up gibberish, baby talk gibberish. Do they understand one word of it to start? Somehow they begin to, if they hear it. I'm letting Helen hear it.
Other children are not impaired.
There is nothing impaired in that mind. It works like a mousetrap.
But after a child hears how many words, Miss Annie? 1 million?
I guess no mother's ever minded enough to count.
What did she spell?
I spelled card. She spelled cake. It's only a finger game to her. What she has to learn first is that things have names.
And when will she learn?
Perhaps after 1,000,001 words.
I should like to learn these letters, Miss Annie.
I'll teach you tomorrow morning. That makes only 500,000 each.
It's her bedtime. I'm sorry, Miss Annie.
Why does she get a reward for stabbing me?
Well, we catch our flies with honey, I'm afraid. It breaks our hearts to do much else, and so many times she simply cannot be compelled.
Yes, I'm the same way myself. The more I think, the more certain I am that obedience is the gateway in which knowledge enters the mind of a child.
Breakfast's ready.
Now, what is it you find to admire in such a man, Jimmy? The butchery or the drunkenness?
Neither, only the fact that he beat us.
He didn't.
I'm sorry, is it your contention we won the war, sir?
He didn't beat us at Vicksburg. We lost Vicksburg because Pemberton gave Bragg 5,000 of his cavalry, and Loring, whom I knew personally for an nincompoop before you were born, marched away from Champion's Hill with enough men to have held them. We lost Vicksburg because of stupidity verging on treason.
I would have said we lost Vicksburg because Grant was one thing. No Yankee general was before him.
Drunk? I doubt it.
No, obstinate.
Obstinate. Could any of them compare even in that with old Stonewall? If he'd have been there, we would still have Vicksburg.
No, the butcher simply wouldn't have given up. He tried 4 ways of getting around Vicksburg, and on the 5th try, he got around. Any other general would have...
He wouldn't have gone around if we'd had a Southerner in charge, instead of a half-breed Yankee trader like Pemberton. What is the matter there?
Miss Annie, you see, she's accustomed to helping herself from our place.
Yes, well, I'm not accustomed to it.
No, of course not. Bonnie?
Give her something, Jimmy, to quiet her.
Why? Her table manners are the best she has. Well...
Let her this time, Miss Sullivan. It's the only way we get any adult conversation around here. My son's half merits that description. I'll get you another plate.
I have a plate. Thank you.
I'm afraid what the captain says is only too true. She'll persist in this until she gets her way.
Vani, bring Miss Sullivan another plate.
I have a plate. There's nothing wrong with the plate, and I intend to keep it.
That right there is why we lost Vicksburg.
Miss Sullivan, one plate is hardly a matter to struggle with a
Well,
deprived
I'd sooner
child.
have a more heroic issue myself.
No, I really must insist you let her... Now she's hurt
No,
herself.
she hasn't.
Will you let her go?
Miss Annie, you don't know the child well enough yet.
I know an ordinary tantrum well enough when I see one, and a badly spoiled child.
Here.
Miss Sullivan, you would have more understanding of your pupil if you had some pity in you. Now kindly
Pity?
do as I...
For this tyrant, the whole house turns on her whims. Is there anything she wants that she doesn't get? I'll tell you what I pity, that the sun won't rise and set for her all her life, and every day you're telling her it will. What good will your pity do when you're under the strawberries, Captain Keller?
Case for the love of heaven,
Miss
will you...
Annie, please, it doesn't serve
Oh,
to
it's easier to feel sorry for her than to teach her anything better, isn't it?
I fail to see where you have taught her anything yet.
Well, I'll begin this minute if you leave the room, Captain Keller.
Leave the room?
Everyone, please.
Kate, will you come outside with me for a second? Now, please.
Heaven's sakes.
Out!
Takes on summer, General.
This girl, this cub of a girl presumes. I tell you, I'm of half a mind to ship her off back to Boston before the week is out. Unless there's an apology and a complete change of manner, she's going back on the next train. Will you make that quite clear?
And where will you be, Captain? Well, I am making it quite
At
clear.
the office!
Will you? I'll say I thought what she said in there was exceptionally intelligent. I've been saying it myself for years.
To his face?
Oh, you. Good girl.
What am I gonna do, Miss Kate? It's noontime. Supper's coming. I ain't get them breakfast dishes out of there yet. You give me her, Miss Kate. I'll sneak her back to her crib.
This child never gives me a moment's worry.
Oh, yes. This one's the angel of the family. No doubt about that.
What happened? She ate from her own plate. She ate with a spoon herself. And she folded her napkin. Folded her napkin. The room's a wreck, but her napkin is folded. I'll be in my room, Mrs. Keller.
Don't be long, Miss Annie. Dinner will be ready right away.
Folded her napkin. My Helen folded her napkin.
Katie, I will not have it. Now, you did not see when that girl after supper tonight went to look for Helen upstairs in her room.
No.
She practically climbed out of the window trying to escape from her. What kind of a teacher is she? From the moment she stepped off the train, she's been nothing but a burden. Incompetent, impertinent, ineffectual, immodest.
She folded her napkin, Captain.
What?
Not ineffectual. Helen did fold her napkin.
What in heaven's name is so extraordinary about folding a napkin?
Well, it's more than you did, Captain.
Katie, how does Miss Sullivan propose to teach a deaf-blind pupil who won't let her touch her?
I don't know.
I want you to give her notice.
I can't.
Well, if you won't, then I must. I simply will not have it. Miss Sullivan.
Captain Keller, Viney said I'd find you both over here in the garden house. I thought we should have a talk.
Yes, well, come in. Katie?
Captain?
I wanted first to make my position clear to Mrs. Keller in private. You see, I've decided that I'm not satisfied. In fact, I am deeply dissatisfied.
Excuse me, is this garden house ever in use?
During the hunting season, Miss Sullivan, if you'll give me your attention. Now, I've tried to make allowances for you, given that you come from a part of the country where people are, women, I should say, come from for whom allowances must be made. Nevertheless, I have decided, that is, decided to... Miss Sullivan, I find it very difficult to talk through those glasses.
Of course.
Why are you wearing them? The sun's been down an hour.
Any kind of light hurts my eyes.
Put them on. Miss Sullivan, I've decided to give you another chance.
To do what?
What? To remain in our employ. On 2 conditions. I'm not accustomed to rudeness from women or servants, and that is the first. If you are to stay, there must be a radical change of manner.
Whose?
Yours, young lady, isn't it obvious? And the second is you persuade me there's even the slightest chance of you teaching a child who flees from you like the plague.
There isn't.
What, Miss Annie?
It's hopeless here.
Then do I understand you propose to...
Well, if we all can agree it's hopeless, then
I am not agreed. I think you underestimate Helen.
I think everybody else here does.
She did fold her napkin. She learns. Did you know she began talking when she was 6 months old? She could say water. Not really wah-wah, but she meant water. She knew what it meant at only 6 months old. I never saw a child so bright or outgoing.
She's changed.
It's still in her somewhere, isn't it? You should have seen her before her illness. Such a good-tempered child. Put up with it. And us.
Us?
Please. Like the lost lamb in the parable, I love her all the more.
Mrs. Keller, I don't think Helen's worst handicap is deafness or blindness. I think it's her love and pity.
Now, what does that mean?
All of you here feel so sorry for her. You've kept her like a pet. Why, even a dog you housebreak. No wonder she won't let me come near her. It's useless for me to try to teach her language or anything else here. I might as well...
Before you came, we spoke of putting her in an asylum.
What kind of asylum?
For mental defectives.
I visited there. Can't tell you what I saw. People like animals, rats in the halls. What else are we to do if you give up?
Give up?
You said it was hopeless.
Here. Give up? Why, I only today saw what has to be done to begin. I want complete control of her.
You already have that. It has resulted...
No, I mean day and night. She has to depend on me.
For what?
Everything. The food she eats, the clothes she wears, the fresh air, yes, the air she breathes. Anything her body needs is a primer to teach her out of. It's the only way. The one who lets her have it should be her teacher, not anyone who loves her.
But if she runs from you to us...
Yes, that's the point. I'll have to live with her somewhere else.
What?
Until she learns to depend on and listen to me.
For how long?
As long as it takes. I packed half my things already.
Miss Sullivan!
Captain Keller, it meets both of your conditions. It's the one way I can get back in touch with Helen, and I don't see how I can be rude to you again if you're not around to interfere with me.
And what are your intentions if I say no? Pack the other half for home and abandon your charge to...
The asylum? I grew up in such an asylum. The state almshouse. Rats. Why, my brother Jimmy and I used to play with the rats because we didn't have any toys. Would you like to know what Helen will find there, not on visiting days? One ward was full of the old women, crippled, blind, most of them dying. There were younger ones, too, across the hall. Prostitutes, mostly, with TB and epileptic fits. The youngest ones were in another ward to have babies they didn't want. They started at 13, 14. They'd leave afterwards, but the babies stayed, and we played with them, too, but most of them had sores all over from diseases you're not supposed to talk about. But not many of them lived. The first year there were 80. 70 died. The room Jimmy and I played in was the dead house, where they would keep the bodies until they could dig the graves. No, it made me strong. But I don't think you have to send Helen there. She's strong enough. I have no conditions, Captain Keller.
Miss Annie?
Yes?
Where would you take Helen?
Oh, Italy.
What?
Can't have everything. How would this garden house do? Furnish it, bring Helen here after a long ride. And you could see her every day, if she doesn't know. Well,
Is that all?
that's all.
Captain, with your permission?
Why must she be dependent on you for the food she eats?
I want control of it.
Why?
It's a way to reach her.
You intend to starve her into letting you touch her.
She won't starve, she'll learn. All is fair in love and war. You never cut supplies, Captain Keller?
This is hardly a war.
Well, it's not love. A siege is a siege.
Miss Sullivan, do you even like the child?
Do you?
You could have a servant here.
I'll have enough work without looking after a servant. But that boy Percy can sleep here, run errands.
We can let Percy sleep here, I think, Captain.
For 2 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks in this place, and if you can get the child to tolerate you, it'll be a miracle.
2 weeks for only one miracle. I'll get her to tolerate me.
You can't think as little of love as you said, Miss Annie, or else you wouldn't stay.
I didn't come for love. I came for money. A, the first of many, 26.
So how exactly will you win the hand now in this place?
Do I know?
No touching, no teaching. Sooner or later we all give up, don't we?
Maybe you all do. It's my idea of the original sin.
You won't open her. Why can't you just let her be? Have some pity on her for what she is.
If I ever once thought like that, I'd be dead.
You will be, so why bother?
Does she know where she is?
We rode her out in the country for 2 hours.
For all she knows, she could be in another town.
That's her sign for me.
I know. 2 weeks.
Miss Annie, these 2 weeks, please try to be very good to her.
I will. I will. What did I get into now?
I can't understand it. I had every intention of dismissing that girl, not setting her up like an empress.
Yeah, what's the secret, sir?
Secret?
That enables her to get anything she wants out of you when I can't?
Oh, she does not get anything she wants out of me. Ugh, he's afraid. What does he want from me?
My guide! Don't you know? Everything you forgot when you forgot my mother.
What? Well, one thing that girl's secret is not, she doesn't fire one shot and disappear. Katie, don't mind what he said.
Captain, I am proud of you.
For what?
For giving this girl what she needs.
Why can't my son be? He can't bear me. You'd think I'd treat him like this girl does Helen.
Perhaps you do.
But he has to learn some respect.
Do you like the child? How empty the house is tonight.
I will touch you. But how do I Percy, are you in here? Come in here, I need you. Percy, are you awake?
No.
How would you like to play a nice game with Helen? Come over here. Touch her hand. Try again.
Let me go. She's trying to talk. She's gonna hit me.
She can talk. I'll show you. She knows lots of letters. This one is C. C. She's mad at me now, though, so she won't play. But she knows lots of letters. I'll show you another one. A, C, A, C, A. C, A, K, E. She spells cake, she gets cake. She doesn't know it means this yet. Isn't it funny she knows how to spell it, but she doesn't know she knows? Well, if she won't play it with me, I'll play it with you. How would you like to learn one she doesn't know?
I'm okay, really.
M-I-L-K. M is like this. I, that's an easy one. Just a little finger. L is like this. With your thumb and your... No! Why should I talk to you? I'm teaching Percy a new word. L is like this. K, that one's also easy. You're jealous, are you? All right. So I'm finally in a place where I can touch you now. Oh, touch and go. No love lost. But here we go. You can go to bed now. Thank you. Now all I have to teach you is one word. Everything. Water, Helen. This is water. W-A-T-E-R. It has a name. Egg. E-G-G. It has a name. The name stands for the thing. Oh, it's so simple. Simple as birth to explain. Helen, the chick has to come out of its shell sometime. You come out too. There's only one way out for you, and it's language. To learn that your fingers can talk and say anything. Anything you can name. This is a mug. Mug. M-U-G, Helen. It has a name. It has a name.
You haven't eaten, Katie.
I'm too restless.
You should eat something, my dear. It'll be a long day waiting.
But it's been a short 2 weeks. Never thought life could be so noiseless. Wait, much too quickly for me.
C-A-R-D. Card. C-A...
Well, the house has been practically normal, hasn't it?
Jimmy?
Is it wrong to enjoy a quiet breakfast after 5 years? For the first time, even the two of you seem to enjoy each other.
It could be even more noiseless, Jimmy, without your tongue running every minute. Haven't you enough feeling to imagine what Kate has been undergoing ever since...
No, he's right. These past 2 weeks have been normal, quiet, all you say, but not short, interminable.
You learn, Jimmy, that there are all kinds of separation. Kate has been living with one kind for 5 years, but another is disappointment in a child.
W-A-T-E-R. But it means this. W-A-T-E-R. This. W-A-T...
Kate, I'm sorry for what I said down there. It was wrong. I opened my mouth, frogs come out.
No, it has been better for everyone.
Kate, what does he want from me?
That's not the question. Stand up to the world, Jimmy. That comes first.
But he is the world.
Yes, and no one can do it for you.
Kate, at least could you be my friend?
I am.
My mind is undisciplined, full of skips and jumps and
What are you doing to your ass?
oh, it's worse on my vanity. I'm learning to spell. It's like a surprise party. The most unexpected characters show up.
You're not to overwork your ass, Miss Annie.
Well, whatever I spell to Helen, I better spell right.
How serene she is.
I taught her this stitch yesterday. Now I can't get her to stop. She's such a little lady. She'd sooner starve than eat with her fingers.
You've done so much these past 2 weeks. I would never have.
Not enough. Obedience isn't enough. It's still just a finger game to her. No meaning. I've done everything I could think of. Everything she's learned here. Keeping herself clean, knitting, stringing beads, meals, setting up exercises each morning. We climb trees, hunt eggs. Yesterday a chick was burned in her hands. All of it I spell. Whatever we do, we never stop spelling. I go to bed with writer's cramp from talking so much.
I worry about you, Miss Annie. You must rest.
Now, she spells back in her sleep. Her fingers make letters when she doesn't know. In her bones, those 5 fingers know. That hand aches to speak out, and something in her mind is asleep. How do I nudge that awake? That is the question.
With no answer.
Except, keep at it. Like this.
More time? Here?
Spell it.
Because I can't.
Spell it. If she ever does learn, you'll have a lot to tell each other. Start now.
Miss Sullivan, I'm away to the office.
Outside, please, Captain Keller.
My dear child, the 2 weeks are up today. Surely you don't
They're
object.
not up till 6 o'clock.
Oh, now what difference can a fraction of one day
An
make?
agreement is an agreement. Now, you've been very good. I'm sure you can keep it up for a few more hours.
Miss Sullivan, you are a tyrant.
Likewise, I'm sure. You can stand there and close the door if she comes.
I'm not sure you know how eager we are to have her back in our arms.
I do know. It's my main worry.
It's like expecting a new child in the house. Well, she is so composed, so attractive. You've done wonders for her, Miss Sullivan.
Have I?
If there's anything we can give you in repayment, tell us. It would be our privilege.
I just told Mrs. Keller I want more time.
Miss Annie.
Another week.
We miss the girl. I miss her. I'm glad to say that's a different debt I owe you.
Pay it to Helen. Give her another week.
Doesn't she miss us?
Of course she does. What a wrench this unexplainable exile must be for her. Can you say it's not?
No, but
doesn't she need affection too?
She doesn't show me she needs it. She won't take any caressing or...
But you're not her mother.
And what would another week accomplish?
She has to learn that everything has its name. That words can be her eyes to everything in the world, inside her and outside too. What is she without words? With them she can think, have ideas, be reached. There isn't a thought or fact in the world that can't be hers. And she has them already.
Miss Sullivan.
18 nouns and 3 verbs. They're in her fingers now. I need only time to push one of them into her mind. One, and the rest under the sun will follow. Don't you see that everything she's learned here has been only clearing the way for that? I can't risk her unlearning it. Give me more time alone with her, another week.
Miss Sullivan, I think you ask too much of her and yourself. Perhaps God didn't mean for Helen to have these eyes you speak of.
I mean her too.
What's it to you?
Half a week.
An agreement is an agreement.
Mrs. Keller.
I want her back.
We'll send Vanu over to help you pack.
Not until 6 o'clock. I have her till 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Come, Katie.
No. Doll. 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 Not water. Here. Water. This is water. I don't know how to tell you. Not a soul in the world knows how to tell you. Helen. Helen. Yes. What's it to me? They're satisfied. Give them back their child. House broken. Everyone's satisfied. But me. And you. How do I tell you that this means a word, and the word means this thing, wool, or CHAIR means this thing, chair, or napkin, dress, FACE, face. MOTHER, mother. MOTH.
Let her come. Helen. Helen. Helen.
Annie, where are they pushing that cot?
To the dead house.
Does it hurt to be dead, Annie? Annie, the doctor says I'm going on a journey soon, but he won't say where.
It's to somewhere much grander than here, and much more beautiful. You're gonna love it.
Not if you're not with me. You're coming, right, Annie? You're gonna take care of me.
Jimmy.
Forever and ever, Annie. You said...
Miss Annie, I've been waiting to give you this.
What?
Your first month's salary. With many more to come, I trust. It doesn't express what we feel. It doesn't pay our debt for what you've done.
What have I done?
Taking a wild thing and giving us back a child.
I taught her one thing. No. Don't do this. Don't do that. Obedience without understanding is a blindness too. Is that all I've wished on her?
No.
Maybe. I don't know what else to do. All I can do is keep on.
That's enough for us.
You can help, Captain Keller.
How?
Even teaching her no has been at a cost of much pain and trouble. Don't undo it.
Why should we wish to undo it?
The world isn't an easy place for anyone. I don't want her to just obey, but to let her have her way in everything is a lie. To her, I can't... And I don't even love her. She's not my child. You've got to stand between that lie and her.
We'll try.
Because I will. As long as you let me stay, that's one promise I'll keep.
Agreed. We've learned something too, I hope. Will you come now to supper?
Yes.
Oh, yes. We're glad to have you back, too. Probably.
What? Oh, key. Yes, I'll keep this. I think we've had enough of locked doors, too.
Evening, General.
Jimmy, will you say grace?
And Jacob wrestled with an angel until the breaking of the day. And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And the angel said, "Let me go, for the day breaketh." But Jacob said, "I will not let thee go, except thou bless me." Amen. You angel.
That's a very strange grace, James.
Will you start the muffins, Ev?
It's from the good book, isn't it?
Well, of course it is, didn't you know?
Yes, I knew.
Ham, Miss Annie?
Please.
Then why ask?
I meant it is from the good book, and therefore it is a fitting grace.
Well, I don't know about that.
Miss Annie?
There's an awful
Thank
lot
you.
of things in the good book that I wouldn't care to hear just before eating.
Fitting in the sense, Aunt Ev, that just as Jacob's thigh was out of joint, so is this pig
I
is.
declare, James.
Pickles, Aunt Eve?
Oh, I should say so. You know my opinion of your pickles.
This is the last of them, I'm afraid. I didn't put up nearly enough last summer. This year I intend to...
The Reverend stopped into the office today to complain his hens have stopped laying. Poor fellow, he was at a joint all he could.
You know, I've always suspected those hens.
Of what?
I think they're papist. Has he tried to...
Oh, James, now you're pulling my lower extremity. The next...
Miss Annie! No! It's a very special day. Yes, it will be when I give in to that. Please, I've hardly had a chance to welcome Captain Keller.
Katie, I had a talk with Miss Annie. She feels it's best we don't indulge these tantrums.
But what's the child done?
She's learned not to kick and throw things on the ground. It took her the best part of the 2 weeks.
But only a napkin. It's not as if it were breakable.
And everything she's learned is... Mrs. Keller, I don't think we should play tug of war with her. Either you give her to me or you stop her from kicking. What do you wish to do? Let me take her from the table.
Oh, let her stay, my goodness. She's only a child. She doesn't have to wear her napkin her first evening if she doesn't want to.
And ask outsiders not to interfere.
Outside? I'm the child's aunt.
But once hurt so much, Miss Annie.
It is a homecoming party, Miss Annie.
She's testing you, you realize.
She's testing you.
Jimmy, be quiet. Now she's home, naturally.
Yes, and wants to see what will happen at your hands. I said it was my main worry. Is this what we spoke about not a half an hour ago?
But she's not kicking now.
And not learning not to. Mrs. Keller, teaching her is bound to be painful to everyone. I know it hurts to watch, but she'll live up to just what you demand of her, and no more.
She's testing you.
Jimmy, be quiet.
I have an opinion. I think I should...
No one is interested in hearing your opinion.
I'm interested.
Of course she's testing me. Let me keep her to what she's learned and she'll go on learning. Take her out of my hands and it'll all come apart. Be bountiful. It's at her expense. Pass me more of her favorite foods.
Take her, Miss Annie.
Thank you.
It seems you're the difficulty, Miss Annie. Now, we'll keep her to what she's learned, you're right there, but I don't see that we need to send her from the table. Especially seeing how she's the guest of honor. Bring her plate back.
If she was a seeing child, none of you would tolerate...
Well, she's not. Some compromise must be reached. Bring her plate, please. There. Now, it's not unnatural. Most of us take some aversion to our teachers, and a second hand can help smooth things out. Now, shall we start all over?
I think we have started all over.
No!
Where are you
Don't get
going?
up! Don't smooth anything else out for me! Don't interfere in any way! I treat her like a seeing child because I ask her to see. I expect her to see. Don't undo what I do.
Where are you taking her?
To make her refill this pitcher.
You're gonna let her talk to you like that, Arthur? A creature who works for you?
No, I won't.
Let her go.
What?
I said let her go. She's right. She's right. Kate's right. I'm right. You're wrong. If you drive her away from this place, it'll be over my dead chair. Has it never occurred to you on one occasion you may be consummately wrong?
Captain.
Everybody sit down. Please sit down, Jimmy.
All right, pump. No, she's not here. Pump. Water. It has a name. Yes. Oh, my dear, yes. Ground. Yes. Pump. Yes. Trellis. Step. Mrs. Keller! Mrs. Keller! Mother. Papa. teacher. I love Helen forever and ever.
If the cast could please come out, and the directors to take a bow, yes. And all the crew, let's go, everybody. That was amazing. And everybody else.
We also want to give a huge thank you to the incredible director, Miss Katsunel, and Aboga Miss Kay. Woo! This show would not have happened without her. She's just the most incredible person in the entire world. We love you.